It's a really quick story, but it's really it's fucking weird. This guy was a severe alcoholic, like show up to school, teach his kids drunk kind of thing. Anytime we'd have meetings, anytime we'd have like prefecture wide training or what's the word I'm looking for, like conferences, stuff like that, he'd show up drunk. He'd have a thermos, he'd have a little Jack and Coke, he would just be drunk everywhere. But the thing is, this motherfucking guy was the best goddamn teacher. Now, I like to think I was a pretty good teacher, okay? This kid, his kids loved him. He was so goddamn good at his job, okay? I'm not even gonna hate on the guy. Like, he was fucking good. He was the drunken master. This guy was untouchable, bro. Like, we all strive to be this guy, without the alcoholism and stuff like that. But this guy was the fucking master. He'd been there longer than everyone. No one even really knew how long he had been in Japan for. The max amount of time you can spend on the JET program, which is what I did, is 5 years. Some people thought he'd been there for 10. He looked like he could be 30 or 13. He had one of those like baby faces, but also like kind of ran down by alcohol and just like, so many summers in Japan. So he was just kind of an enigma, but he was really nice. He was really, really nice. He was a little bit like kind of quiet, standoffish at the first time I ever met him, but it kind of one of those things where like, you show him respect and then he'll be a friend for life, a little standoffish. Maybe he's been hurt by people before, kind of almost like skittish in a way, but you show him some love and then boom, he's like your best friend. Always treated me with the utmost respect, drunk or not. I mean, I've never saw him not drunk, but
I had a teacher like that too, one in high school. Best moments ever.
For some people, alcohol just really works, man. Now, I don't think most of the alcoholics I've met in my life, that is not the case. Okay, I don't advocate for it at all. I don't think you should drink at all if you can help it. But for this motherfucker, it just worked, man. It just worked. It really was like actual medicine for him. So he was one of the sweetest guys. He would do this thing where he would go to people's houses and he would show up, like if there was a party or they invited him over, just to hang out or whatever. He would do this thing. This is one of the craziest. I still can't wrap my head around this. He would begin to clean your entire apartments while you're hanging out. He wouldn't ask. He would just start and clean your entire apartments. He would wipe the windows. He would start sweeping. He would start organize things for you. Not in like an invasive way. I know that sounds really weird. Like it's, yo, don't touch my shit. But he was so like elegant about it, where like he would just like start talking and then like slowly just clean things. And before you know it, it was almost like a magician, like a practical effects magician, where like, they grab your wrist and before you know it, they're wearing your watch. He'd be telling you, his teaching techniques, and before you know it, you could see out your windows again. It would just sneak up on you. Sleight of hand cleaning, exactly. So this motherfucker would just clean people's houses, and I remember this one girl had like really bad ish, like she got sick all over the place. She got really drunk and threw up everywhere, and she like blacked out, and she didn't remember how she got home at all. It was really, really bad situation. I wasn't there. I just heard this story, and
hey, apparently, Mr. Ethel, would you mind taking your underwear off? I need to clean them. Thanks, bro.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the thing is, the guy was so good, it probably could have happened. Oh, you mind popping your pants off real fast, buddy? I'm just going to start a load of laundry. Oh, yeah, sure thing, man. Yo, Sakari, thank you so much for 2 years, man. Thank you. And Honko, thank you so much for 15. The girl had blacked out. She'd puked everywhere. Just a really bad situation or whatever. And she didn't know how she got home or, what happened to all the puke. Apparently, this guy had walked her home, taken her in, cleaned up all the puke. She projectile puked all over the toilet, all over the bathtub, all over everywhere. He cleaned it all up and cleaned her entire house at 4 a.m., man, 5 a.m. Cleaned her entire house, put her to bed on her side so she wouldn't puke again and kill herself. And she woke up probably with the worst hangover of all time to a completely spotless house with everything neatly organized, no remnants of puke anywhere. And the dude was gone. Like, so not on some any creep shit or any like weird, like take advantage of a drunk girl shit at all. Like never had that vibe or anything from that guy ever. It was kind of like a eunuch, there was no like sexual deviancy or weirdness to this guy at all. And she just woke up and then it's like, dude, what the fuck? What happened? And then, he had told someone like, oh yeah, I just took her home and just, cleaned up a little bit. And so she found out and like, yeah, it just like, she thanked him and stuff. And so he kind of got that reputation for just being a weird, eccentric guy who just helps people. He was basically like a clean alcoholic Batman, like a Mr. Clean, substance abusing Batman. And it was awesome. Like he was a drunken angel, if you will. Mm-hmm. My sister has that kind of OCD. I wish I had it. I don't even know. I don't even know what you call it. Yeah, maybe a OCD or. Thanks, Mr. Aethel. This story has uplifted and inspired me. No.
Aethel. This story has uplifted and inspired me. I'm going to start day drinking again.
Okay, buddy. Okay, buddy. Oh man, bro. It just worked for him, man. I can't explain it. I mean, I would always tell you, get help if you feel like you're abusing substances. But my God, that motherfucker, he really had it locked down. He must had like his sexual deviancy was just cleaning people's apartments. You know what? Hey, go for it, man. So he had been teaching for a while, and he was so in Japan you have prefectural ALTs, assistant language teachers, and then you have city ALTs, assistant language teachers. I was a prefectural English teacher, meaning I mostly taught at high schools and junior highs, and then the city schools are mostly elementary school and junior highs. So he was like an elementary school teacher, and dude, the kids loved him. And a big reason why everyone really liked him was because he took the time to learn Japanese to a very native level, to the point where he spoke in the local dialect at all times. So all of his teachers, all of his students, he would speak to them in the dialect that is really it's a very unique sounding dialect. Like it's very unique to that area. It's not quite like any other form of Japanese. I've explained it a few times on my stream before, but the easiest example is like when you say kawaii, those like e adjectives, kawaii, atsui. Basically they changed the e, that final e, to a ka, where it's like kawaii ka, oishi ka, stuff like that. So kind of like the Osaka Kansai bend, but totally different. It's the same in that it's it's a distinct dialect, but the what's the word, like the functions of the dialect are completely different. And there's other words that have unique meanings and stuff in the dialect too. Like one that I would always use with my students was yagarashi, and yagarashi just means to like shut the fuck up. So if my students were like being fucking annoying, I would just go yagarashi. And they would fucking lose it, man. They would fucking laugh in my face, dude, all the time, man. Those motherfuckers, dude. They thought it was so funny. But you know what? It worked. It worked. They would laugh and then they would shut up. They knew I meant business. So there's really cool, like the dialect where I was just really funny sounding. Like it's very like country bumpkin kind of, farmland speak. It was really cool, man. Yogos! Yeah, dude, it was hilarious, bro. They loved it every time. And like if they were junior high school students too, bro, they would fucking lose it. Because like your high school students are a little bit more reserved and they don't want to laugh out loud too much unless they're like a pretty rambunctious group. But my younger students, bro, they fucking loved that shit. So he really took a lot of time to learn the language and just be a part of the culture. He would help out. He would do the same shit that he would do for like the foreign teachers. He would do that shit for like his coworkers too.
Hey, boss.
What the fuck was I gonna say? Oh yeah. So he did the same shit for his teachers. So like if he got invited to a party, a locals party or something like that, he'd do the same shit. And you know what? They loved it, dude. He'd clean their house. He'd treat everyone with the same respect that he treated us with, and he was just a good guy. Now he was such a good guy, and he was so good at his job that the city. This is not allowed, by the way. This is completely against the JET rules. Like this is not supposed to happen. You're supposed to go on the JET program 5 years and then you fuck off back to whatever country you're from. Okay, That is how this is supposed to work. The people from the city basically said, fuck the rules, fuck this entire program, fuck the jet program as a whole. We are hiring this guy directly, and they gave him a free house. And you want to know why they gave him this free house? Is because this motherfucker, we didn't know about this at the time, but we figured it out. This motherfucker would go, after he would go out drinking with people or like go hang out with people, he illegally broke into this house and would clean up. It was a completely abandoned house in the middle of nowhere. All the windows were smashed. There was plants growing on the inside. He would break into this house illegally, mind you, and clean it from the inside out. He was renovating the house illegally in the middle of the night for years. In the city school board of education, the city schools that hired him found out and gave him the house for free. And I'm pretty sure he just still lives there, man. They didn't give a fuck at all. So the moral of the story is, get addicted to alcohol, learn a second language, and invade an abandoned home, and you will live your wildest, Japanese countryside life. Dude, it was I mean, there's not really a story like it, man. There's genuinely, I've never, he did so many things wrong, but it just worked out somehow. I don't get it, man. You just have to learn another language. Okay, so you've already got the first two down. Okay, good. So you're drinking heavy and you're breaking and entering. Okay, perfect, man. Yeah. I mean, he could have gotten in so much trouble for that.